This is a tale from a land far, far away, a place where cozy cottages huddled together and the forest whispered secrets only the wind could understand. In this peaceful place, life flowed like honey, sweet and unhurried. Here we meet our hero, a ginger kitten with a heart full of adventure. He was known throughout the neighborhood for his playful spirit and insatiable curiosity. Now, while most cats dream of chasing butterflies or lounging in sunbeams, this adventurous kitten harbored a secret desire, a longing to be a firefighter. You heard that right, a firefighter. Every time the shrill cry of the sirens echoed through the streets, the kitten's heart would race with excitement. He would dash to the window, his emerald green eyes shining with admiration, as he watched the firefighters speed past. One sunny afternoon, as the kitten was gazing dreamily at a passing fire truck, he couldn't resist the urge to share his aspirations with the others. "When I grow up," he announced proudly, "I want to be a firefighter." The other kittens stopped their game of tag and burst into laughter. "A firefighter? Are you crazy?" one of them teased, his blue eyes twinkling with amusement. "You're too small to do any good," another added, nudging the kitten with his paw. Their laughter echoed around him, and the kitten's ears drooped, his tail, which was usually held high with pride, now tucked between his legs. Just then, a gentle hand touched his shoulder, and the kitten looked up to see his mother, her gaze filled with warmth and understanding. She led him away from the mocking laughter to a quiet corner, and there, in hushed tones, she began to speak. "My little one," she started, her voice as soothing as cream. "Being a firefighter isn't about your size. It's about the strength in your heart. You may be small, but you have the heart of a hero." Her words were like a warm blanket around the kitten, chasing away the chill of their mocking words. But how could he prove to everyone that he, a small ginger kitten, could be a hero? He looked up at his mother with pleading eyes. Seeing the determination in his gaze, Mama Cat felt a surge of pride. "I'll help you," she promised, licking his head affectionately. "Together we'll show them what you're made of." And so began the kitten's rigorous training. Each morning at the crack of dawn, Mama Cat would transform their backyard into an obstacle course fit for a future firefighter. The sparkling pond became a raging river, leaping over it, an essential skill for a firefighter. Tall bookshelves stood in place of burning buildings, testing his climbing skills. And the hose coiled in the shed transformed into a ladder leading to the top of the fence, challenging his agility. At first, the kitten stumbled and fell more often than he succeeded. Once he got tangled in the hose, drenching himself in cold water. Another time he slipped while climbing and landed with a thud on the ground. Still, he never gave up. With each attempt, he got better, his leaps becoming higher, his climbs steadier, his spirit undeterred. Through it all, Mama Cat was by his side, her gentle encouragement echoing in his ears. "You may be small," she would say, "but you are brave, and bravery has no size limits." As weeks passed, the kitten grew stronger, braver, and more determined. He learned to navigate the backyard course with ease, his movements fluid, his confidence growing. He was ready. Or was he? The thought of facing real danger, of confronting a roaring fire, filled him with a mix of fear and excitement. Would his training be enough if a real fire broke out? Then one night, the answer to his question arrived. Piercing alarm shattered the tranquility of the night. This was the fire bell, its loud toll signaling danger. Rushing outside, the kitten and his mother saw a thick plume of smoke rising in the distance. Their hearts raced as they recognized the familiar outline of the old bakery, its roof ablaze and crackling ominously. Without hesitation, the kitten's mother nudged him. "This is your chance, my hero," she said, her voice laced with pride and a hint of worry. "Show them what you've learned." With a deep breath and a determined nod, the kitten raced towards the fire with Mama Cat by his side. As they approached the scene, the kitten's heart pounded in his chest. The sight of the towering flames and the frantic townsfolk was both terrifying and exhilarating. Suddenly, a burly firefighter noticed the determined kitten making his way to the burning building. A smile spread across his soot-streaked face. "Hello there, little fella," he boomed, his voice echoing with kindness. "You're mighty small to be a firefighter." Before the kitten could reply, another firefighter chuckled. "He probably wants to save the bakery," he said, shaking his head in mock disbelief. Despite the firefighters' teasing, they didn't try to stop the kitten. Instead, one of them handed him an empty bucket, its metal surface cold beneath his paws. "Here you go, little guy. the firefighter said with a wink. "Maybe you can help us put out that fire?" With the bucket in hand, the kitten dashed past the firefighters, eager to prove himself. Mama Cat followed closely, her eyes gleaming with support and encouragement. Reaching the edge of the burning building, the kitten hesitated for a moment, the sight of the roaring flames momentarily intimidating. But then he remembered his training, his mother's words echoing in his ears. Taking a deep breath, he dipped the bucket into a nearby puddle, scooping up water and rushing back to the flames. With the help of Mama Cat, who guided him with gentle nudges and encouraging meows, the kitten began to splash water on the fire. Each splash was small, but his efforts were consistent and unwavering. As the fire raged, the kitten continued his valiant work. Other animals, impressed by his courage, joined in. Birds flew down to peck at the flames, while squirrels scurried down trees to chip away at the burning roof. Even a wise old dog, who had been watching from a safe distance, trotted forward and barked furiously at the blaze. Together, the unlikely heroes fought bravely, their determination fueled by a common purpose. And, finally, after what seemed like hours, the fire began to dwindle. The flames, once so fierce, now flickered weakly, their strength spent. The townsfolk, who had been anxiously watching from a distance, broke into cheers. "Hooray!" they cried. "The fire is out! Our little heroes have saved the day." Amongst them, two figures stood out, the brave Ginger Kitten and his mother, their faces streaked with soot, their eyes shining with triumph. The firefighters, their faces creased with smiles, gathered around the kitten. They praised his bravery, his determination, and his quick thinking. "You sure showed us some skills, little one of them said, scratching the kitten behind the ears. "You're a natural firefighter." Later, when the townsfolk had dispersed and the bakery was secured, the kitten, exhausted but exhilarated, turned to his mother. "Did I do well, Mama?" I asked, his voice filled with a mix of pride and fatigue. Looking at her son, his fur slightly singed, his eyes shining with excitement, Mama Cat felt a surge of love and admiration. "You were amazing, my hero," she purred, nuzzling against him. "You faced your fears and helped everyone. That's all that matters." And so, the tale of the brave little kitten, who dared to dream of being a firefighter, echoed throughout the land, reminding everyone that courage comes in all shapes and sizes. As for the Ginger Kitten, he continued to train, his dream now solidified, his spirit unbroken, ready to face any challenge that came his way. Because he knew, with a heart full of courage and a mother's love as his guide, no dream was too big to chase,